Hello YouTube, Canadian Edge here, and time for a knife review. And I have a knife on the table today. This is a good budget knife. Been impressed with it, I have to say. I really liked what this knife had to offer. And so this is the Rough Ryder RR2082. And got familiar with Rough Ryders earlier this year. They are very budget price, but they seem like a decent knife. So let's take a look at what this one has to offer. So this has a blade length of 3.5 inches. Excuse me. It has an open, it is 8 inches long, and closed it is 4.5 inches. So it's a little bigger knife. Good size to it. The steel on this, now I'm not sure what the exact steel is on these knives, because it doesn't list them on the site where I buy the knives, which is at Blades Canada or Warriors of Wonders. But when I go on to Rough Ryder's site, it says 440A is the most common steel that they use, which I kind of feel this could be 440A, but some of the sites that are selling these, they list it as a T10 carbon steel. And so I'm not sure. From my understanding, if I remember right, T10 is like a 440C type steel. But regardless, it's more of a budget steel on these, I'm pretty sure. But it seems to be holding an edge fairly well. The weight on it, it is 4 ounces. The handle on this, it is a G10 carbon fiber pattern. And I don't know how well that's going to show up on my camera. But it has a blue pattern in it, which if I turn it that way, you can see a bit of the blue. So it has a carbon fiber pattern to it. Some of the sites again said it was carbon fiber, but I think it's probably just a G10 with the pattern in it. Either way, it's a nice looking scales that they have on it. The pocket clip on this, it is right hand only, tip down, which, you know, is not a big deal. Most of my knives I carry tip up, given the option, but this one doesn't give you an option. It's only right hand tip down. So I don't know how that affects you lefties. Probably not much more than us righties, but either way, you can't change that around. And it is a flipper open, does have the flipper opening as well as the dual thumb studs on it. So you can open it with either the thumb studs or the flipper. I find the flipper a little bit easier, but that's just me. And it is a liner lock on there as well. I was happy to see that the blade is centered on this, if you can see that. And if I hold it correctly, it is pretty much centered, and there is no blade play when you try it out. So that's good to know, because these are, what are these? This was $19 or something Canadian, $21 Canadian, somewhere around there. Definitely did not break the bank, but yeah, I was very happy with it, the results so far. All right, let's do a size comparison. See what we have. We got the Benchmade bug out, so you can see this is a little bit bigger. It is an 8-inch knife. We have the Ontario Rat 2, and so it does have a bit of size on these knives. And we'll grab a couple bigger knives here. Got the Civivi Cogent and the Sencut Saxi. And you can see this knife still has a bit of length on the two of them, so it's a fairly decent sized knife. We'll see the sharpness on this, and it had a decently sharp blade. I had to admit I was happy with how it's performed so far. So slices through paper nice and easy. And I didn't try a zap strap, but I have opened boxes with it and packages, and it does very well with those. Oh yeah, no problem on there. On this twine, yeah, hardly any effort at all involved in that. And then we've got paracord type stuff, although it's not really paracord, but it goes through that pretty easy. So you can see it does come with a relatively sharp blade, and like I said, I had no problem opening packages and cutting boxes, and I still have glue on it apparently. But I saw this knife and thought, you know what, I really like the style. I like the aesthetics of this knife. It is a good looking knife. I like the blade profile on it. You got the swedges coming down here, a little bit of a curve to the blade. It's a good look. The handle is fairly generic, but the carbon fiber look makes it look good. So the aesthetics on this I was very pleased with. I thought it looked rather nice looking knife. The ergonomics on it, they're very comfortable. Again, I would like some jimping up here just for extra purchase. But you get a decent grip on the handle. It fits in the hand quite well, and no issues with hanging on to it. This has got slight texture to it, so it does have a little bit of grip, so it's not totally smooth. But yeah, the way it's designed to fit in your hand, it gives you a good grip. And it's a little bigger handle on here, so you guys with bigger hands would find this a little easier to grab. The pivot on it, again, I was impressed. Very smooth pivot, not quite drop close, but it doesn't take much to get this to close. Just a couple little wrist flick and it's there. So yeah, nice smooth pivot on this, and I believe it's washers in there, the brass or copper or maybe even plastic. I'm not sure, I didn't take it apart to check it out. And it fits in the pocket really nice. You do notice this a little bit, but not so much because it sits up in the pocket. So yeah, you hit more of this than anything, that rise on the blade there. So it fits in the pocket very nicely. And as I mentioned, the grip, it's decent on it. It's not going to slide out of your hand quickly at any point. And so you got a good solid grip on it. A couple of things I didn't really like is I'm not a big fan of this pocket clip. It's okay. It's fairly flexible, so it would bend quite easily. If you're rough on your knives and that, you'd find it bends fairly easy. Of course, they didn't countersink the screws or the mount, so they stick up, and that's going to be wear and tear on your pockets, which is a beef with a lot of knives that I have, but not a deal breaker. And then the fit and finish, it's decent. They did bevel the edges of the liners, or not the liners, the scales, but they're not as smooth as a more expensive knife. But hey, for 20 bucks, you know what? I really have no problem with this knife. In fact, I've carried this knife a fair bit over the last few weeks, and I like it. I would have no problem recommending this, especially to somebody who's on a very much a budget. you don't have a lot of money to spend and you want a fairly decent knife, so far I've been very happy with this, and I would highly recommend this for 20 bucks. It's a great little knife. Yeah, it's not as fine as, you know, the Benchmade Bug Outer. That it doesn't feel quite as comfortable, but for 20 bucks you can't go wrong. This, I would definitely recommend this for an EDC for somebody on a budget, and even somebody who's not on a budget. You know what, I don't keep a lot of $20 knives in my collection, but this one will probably hang out there for a little while, and until I find somebody who really needs it. And yeah, very happy with it. So that is the Rough Ryder RR2082. You can find those online at different places, and here in Canada you can find them at Blades Canada, and like I say, I think they're $21 maybe here before prices go up. So check that out. I have other reviews coming up. Check those out, and be sure to leave me a like and comment. I love hearing from you guys, and hit the subscribe, and we'll do this all again. But until then, you stay safe and stay sharp.